So the first thing I did when I booted up Far Cry Primal was set the difficulty to its highest. That shouldn't surprise you, you guys know how I like my games.
A few moments later.
Well, what can I say, I actually got my ass kicked. Ubisoft was cool enough to give me early access to Primal. I played it for about 3 to 4 hours, the PlayStation 4 version, and being the big fan that I am of this series, I noticed a lot, many things. One of which, the lack of a white flag. Seriously, I haven't retreated from random encounters like this since Far Cry 2 on Infamous. To be fair, that's mainly due to the changes in combat. Primal is a Far Cry, see what I did there? From previous entries. Not only in setting and tone, but very much so in the combat department. Also, it's worth mentioning that these were early stages of the game, with weapons at their weakest and UAV killer owls without their bombs, because that's a thing. I am so happy that is a thing. So what are these changes in combat, you might be wondering? Well, in the other Far Cries you run into a group of bad guys, it's no big deal. You got guns, grenades, just aim for the head, pew pew bang bang, Bob's your uncle. In Primal, unless you're rocking a constant, steady supply of projectiles, you will run into situations in the middle of a fight where you have to resort to getting close and personal with clubs and spears. Maybe even set your toes on fire like me, trying to keep them from closing in on your position. I'll be honest, I haven't felt this mortal and vulnerable in a Far Cry game in a while. I'm sure that's something that alters drastically as you upgrade your skills and turn into an overpowered saber-tooth riding animal whispering god. But I gotta say, dying so early in a Ubisoft game was pretty refreshing. As for the tone of the game, well, Primal feels much more grounded. Not that there's anything grounded about riding a saber-tooth into battle, but it definitely has an overall serious vibe to it. Now, don't be mistaken, the other Far Cries are no stranger to heavy and dark subject matters, but in the last few entries, such things were always delivered with fun, witty dialogue and a wacky sense of humor.
Really guys, we're not checking for these anymore?
You know, one moment the bad guy's killing your family, or tasting your family, lovely, and then the next, you're setting his drug fields on fire with a flamethrower while dubstep plays in the background. You get what I mean? That amusing, unorthodox style wasn't really present in my short time with Primal, which I totally understand considering the setting and time frame. I don't know about you, but I can't think of too many offbeat, sarcastic dickheads from 10,000 BC. It also felt grounded in the sense that the game actually kept me in the moment. Far Cry games usually start with a linear introduction that only ever goes one way, and is used to establish important information like location, characters, motive. They do this before dropping you into the open world. The problem with open world games is that initial vibe can sometimes fade away when you're bombarded with side quest after side quest. Primal actually did a decent job of keeping that vibe alive for the few hours I had with it. The theme of hunting, being hunted, and being at war with tribes because they wear red and you don't like people who wear red. It remained intact. I bring this up because this is something that's been inconsistent in this series. In Far Cry 2, it worked because the malaria gave you this constant state of urgency. Running out of pills made you feel like time was important. Far Cry 3, on the other hand, it does a good job of setting things up. Boom, character. Boom, motive. Boom, location. The problem is it all becomes second thought after a while. Like, oh yeah, I should really mourn my dead brother. I should really save my friends. I should really get revenge on this guy. I would do that, but seriously, my wallet is too full. Like this is a problem. My wallet is at max capacity. If I put $1 more in my wallet, it would cease to be a wallet. Like, that's how full it is. It will stop being a wallet if I put more money in here. Also, it's been like a couple of hours since this guy became my arch nemesis. I have an LMG with 200 rounds in it. I have enough animal skins to open up a shop. This isn't surviving. I may as well be paying taxes at this point. Still a fun game though. So, Far Cry Primal, ladies and gentlemen, the pre-release beta version of course, which I should mention. I did enjoy it, more than I thought I would. It was a change of tone and gameplay, but underneath those changes, I definitely found that familiar Far Cry formula that I've grown accustomed to over the years. There's no camera, but you have an owl. No vehicles, but you can ride animals. No drug fields, but trust me, you can still get high. It definitely reminded me of the open world crafting survival games you see on Steam, except this is polished, runs well, and has an actual end goal. Yeah, I went there. I'm actually quite keen to see how fans react to this game. I'm positive that there's an audience for Primal. It will definitely appeal to a very specific type of Far Cry fan, but I do have my doubts when it comes to the majority, simply because there's no guns. I know it's kind of dull always coming back to that point, but this is the first Far Cry to do this, and it's like the 8th entry in the franchise, I think. Nothing splits a player base more than radical changes to core mechanics. I guess you could say there will be a division. Oh, I'm terrible. Anyways, those are my early thoughts on Far Cry Primal. I will give Ubisoft credit for doing something different. I do hope you guys give it a chance before you go around calling it Skyrim without guns. Who knows, it might surprise you.